Hey everybody, welcome to episode 152 of Fight Chat Friday. So today we're going to look at 5 critical things that everybody will need to be successful in ITF Taekwondo Sparring. So these are really 6 things that you're going to need no matter what your style, no matter what techniques you favor. These are 6 general principles that everybody's going to need to really be of maximum force in the ITF sparring ring.
So kicking this off, we're going to look at your ability to adapt and strategize to suit your opponent or to play to your strengths so that you can overcome your opponent. And here we just have an example with Hare up against Hong Lui in the final of the European Championships just a few years ago, and really having to show some versatility and adaptability to deal with the threats that Hong was putting to him.
Yeah, so Hong is really getting through her hands, but then Ian adapts really well. And we have to be able to do this in ITF sparring because in combat sports, it's actually one of the shorter duration bouts that we have. So we have 2 2-minute rounds at the highest level, and that is a very, very short time. You need to be able to find out what you need to do. And if anything is not working or your opponent has a trump card over you, you need to figure out that problem really, really quick and come up with a different solution before it's too late.
That's it. And we often say if it's working, keep going. So you can double down on an effective strategy until your opponent's able to solve it. And if they can't, you just keep riding that train until you get to your destination. Moving into the
That's
second
it.
idea, we have combinations and setups, which if you're looking to maximize your scores and get the most bang for your buck, you need to bring your shots into combination and add that extra bonus score.
Yeah, we always talk about at the high level, usually people are matched, especially when it gets to hands. Here we have Igor Maskimenko from Ukraine. He was always a guy who never thought in his mind with a single mindset when it came to his shots. He was always thinking threes, fours, and even fives. You can see here that he's really putting a flow together, and it really takes the wind out of your opponent as well. So being able to put that pressure on somebody and to be able to go with that natural flow from shot to shot, it is a massive advantage, and it definitely is going to put you at the forefront when it comes to the scoreboard, of course.
Absolutely. Next, we're thinking about your ability to control the distance between you and your opponent and to manage that. And we're always talking about the controllables in terms of your ring position, the distance between you and your opponent, and the tempo rhythm of the match. And distance is just one of those controllables. If you're able to decide on what range this match happens, it gives you a huge advantage because the other person is always looking to disrupt and take control of that in order to make their shots more effective. And we're seeing some good examples here from Steen from Norway. Um, uh, Actually, is that Steen? I'm not actually sure that it is. And really working to keep Ante on a distance where he's comfortable at a good leg range and not letting Ante into hands.
Yeah, it's all about on your terms, isn't it? And understanding how to control the distance between you and your opponent is really crucial. This does include as well knowing how to engage and get through the different distances, whether it's you want to maintain the distance or create more space, and how to use your techniques or your footwork to be able to do these various things. Do you want to extend the
Mm.
distance a little bit further? Do you want to close the distance? Or do you want to maintain the distance? So Ruben here is doing a good job of being able to play to his strengths when it comes to the distance, usually off the front leg. But we see Cody's looking to try bypass that distance a little bit and looking for various ways in. And that kind of links up to what we were speaking about with adaptability earlier as well. If you can find the solution, and if not, find another one, that is going to be the key to that as well, to be able to really mitigate the distance and have that in control of yourself rather than your opponent.
So then we move into that footwork and ring positioning, and you'd already mentioned how footwork is often the key to adjusting the distance between you and your opponent to your benefit. And Julio is, long being quite expert in the whole area of footwork and in choosing where in the ring that he does his sparring. So, like some nice examples here from the end of the final from 2019 with Belarus.
Yeah, so like having good footwork allows you to control the ring and dictate the pace of the match a little bit more as well. And Julio is very good at being able to dictate that pace. And proper positioning then as well allows him to have the fight in his control where he can maximize his attacks and also minimize his opponent's strengths as such. And that's kind of where he really is a master. And as well, that links up really well with ring positioning then as well, because he has the footwork to be able to pull his opponent around. And if he's in a bad position, he has the ability then to reverse that and put himself in an even better position as well. And also very, very important if you are leading a match to be able to have that ability to be able to pull your opponent around and not get hit. That's the aim of the game at the end of the day, hit without getting hit. And your footwork is crucial to that.
Yeah, for sure. And as you said, sometimes the ring position you're looking for is dominating that center and making sure that your footwork ensures the other person doesn't get to be able to take that center from you. Julio's always been great about taking a lead and then going to the edge of the ring where he has more room to move about. He's less predictable and his opponent has to track him down, leading to some mistakes that he can capitalize on. But just that concept of poor footwork leads to predictable movement that your opponent can deal with. So, the quality of your movement, your ability to change rhythm with it, really, really important. Our next topic, mental toughness. What are we talking here?
Yeah, so this is very important. So, like, developing that strong mindset is very, very important to be able to handle pressure, first of all, make quick decisions, like we see with a very high level match here between two people. The decisions they make on the fly are critical. The ability to stay focused in a match can greatly influence your performance as well. So, bringing all these together and having that mental capacity to be able to kind of dominate your opponent is very, very important. And to be able to maintain that then as well throughout the rounds, not just fight for 4 minutes, but maybe round one, round two, semi-final, final. That's the high level ability of people as well to be able to maintain that when the going gets tough.
Yeah, concentration is sometimes a very underrated part of this as well. That it's easy to objectively make the right decisions. When you have loads of time to think about it, but when you're under match pressure situations, making those right decisions under pressure does take a certain amount of concentration and being in those kind of pressure situations often enough so that you're practiced in making those right decisions under pressure is a big thing.
Yeah, easy for us here on the chair, Adrian, looking at it, isn't it?
Very, yeah, always make the right decisions from here. So our
Yeah.
next topic, timing and rhythm, and an absolute master or mistress of the game here in Katja Solovay.
Yeah, so like mastering the art of timing is very important. It goes hand in hand with distance management as well, of course. But you can see how she steps in here at the correct moment. It's just knowing when to attack, knowing when to defend, and when to counter. Very, very important things to be able to do. And then that links in as well with rhythm control to disrupt your opponents. You see as she steps through here to break the rhythm of her opponent. And that obviously works in as well with the footwork a little bit, as we said earlier. And it can allow her to dictate that pace and control the intensity as well, just because of being that so sharp off the timing point of the game. Very, very important to be able to control the timing and to have that in your control.
Yeah, I especially like the bit that after the back kick that follows after the turning kick, where there's the little adjustment of the feet. It almost feels to the opponent like I'm being given a bit of a reprieve or a break here. We have that kind of split timing here, a little space, and that little space lets them come to hands, and then you get the back kick in there. It's very, very, very impressive to see that. And again, we have another example there from Julio, where again, what we're looking at is that pull, that ability to kind of bring your opponent where you want them to be and in the rhythm that you want them to be at as well. So it's, I think what you see very well with Julio is the setting of rhythms and breaking of rhythms. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, and then he splits that rhythm himself and decides when he wants to go.
Yeah, that's it. So the catcher clip was really about timing of being able to get into the correct distance with the correct technique. But then we see the Julio clip a bit more about setting rhythms and breaking rhythms, exactly like you said.
Yeah. So next we're going to look at being adaptive or adaptable in your sparring.
Yeah, so we have a few clips there as well just to show you how important it is to be adaptable. It links up to what we said earlier as well about being able to change your circumstances when something is not going your way. But this is really about your tactics and being able to adjust your strategy based on the game state and what's actually happening in the match as well. So do you need to be able to go forward, attack? Do you need to be able to back up and defend? It really does depend on the scoreboard. And luckily, we do have scoreboards most of the time with the high level as well. So that really brings in another element, which is quite difficult because it's not how most people train in ITF sparring. So it is highlighting the importance as well of being able to get in match practice, as they say, and getting a little bit of mat time to be able to practice that and to be comfortable and have the experience of being able to make those decisions under pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. And next week we can look at a few more examples from the training mat in terms of how to actually go about developing these qualities, developing these strategies and tactics, and some of the exercises that we might use ourselves in our own dojang when we're training to try to bring about these changes in behavior that we're looking to see on the floor to be really effective and to be really optimized as ITF Taekwondo competitors. So if that sounds interesting, make sure you tune back in next week when we dig into that. That's everything for today's Fight Chat Friday, I think, Richie, unless you have something more.
That's it. We'll catch you in the next one.
Very good.